The Wolverines notched their fourth straight win as they handle non-conference foe Eastern Michigan. We'll have the highlights. We'll also meet a young man who's been challenged his entire career and has flourished through it all. And we'll look ahead as we scout Pass Happy Purdue, Michigan's next conference test. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by Abso Pure Water, delivering quality bottled water since 1908. By Sirius Satellite Radio. By the University of Michigan Alumni Association, uniting the leaders in best. www.umalumni.com. By State Farm, providing insurance and financial services. By AT&T, for a behind-the-scenes look at sports, visit attblueroom.com/sports. And by Powered by Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA. Welcome to Michigan Replay, everybody. The Wolverines had Eastern Michigan on Saturday, came away with a 33-22 victory in Ann Arbor on a sizzler. I thought, this is October. I figured that was hot down there.
I'll tell you one thing. If there's been a hotter October day, I don't remember.
But it was a big, big victory for your team. And maybe some people out there are not sure about the score, think it's close. You had 10 players on your two-deep that didn't dress. That's remarkable.
Well, Jim, I don't remember a team that went into a game with that many guys who were starters and one backup, Brandon Miner. So we talked all week about you have to prove you can play when you're not at full strength, and that means a lot of guys that normally don't get opportunities to play get to play, and it's important that they come out and perform well, and I think that happens some.
Overall, in this game, I think you got good experience, and the young kids, when asked, stepped up.
Well, there's no question we moved Steve Schilling to guard and started a young guy, Mark Ortman, and early in the game, we get a big turnover defensively. Morgan Trent made a wonderful play there and gets the ball deflected. Jamar Adams comes up with an interception, and we got great field position.
But here's the next play. You get down to the goal line, and again, the inexperience or the change of position causes a problem in pass play.
Well, on a third down play, we get beat. Our guard gets beat inside there, and now we're forced to take a field goal.
But that's a tackle playing guard once again.
Yeah, and it's a very different position. I thought Steve got much better as the game went on, and Casey Lapata came in and kicked the field goal.
Made a change at the field goal thing, and Casey did a nice job.
Yes, he did. I'm sure he felt a lot of pressure, and he handled it very well.
They kicked the ball down in here to the 1-yard line, and this really looked like, because you're just leading 3-0 at this point. They got field position, and I thought this was the biggest drive of the game.
Well, we ran the ball very effectively, and Mike Hart had another big day, but to come out of the shadows of your own goal line and run 20 yards on first down gets you some decent field position.
And this is Mike's run that breaks the all-time individual rushing record at Michigan.
Well, it was kind of a typical Mike Hart run there.
He didn't get it cheap, did he?
No, he didn't, and he didn't get many yards cheap in his career here. But what a great achievement, and it says a lot for the guys that have played in front of him.
And Chad Henne looked real good in this game, too, after, again, just getting a limited action a week ago, comes in, makes a nice throw here to Arrington.
I think he's throwing the ball extremely well, very accurate. And Adrian Arrington is having just really a sensational year. Makes a great catch here for out-jumping the defender. And we put together there a 99-yard drive.
It gets you up 10-0, things going your way, and then the one thing you don't want to see happens.
Well, Jim, one of the things when you have a lot of guys out, it doesn't impact your special teams. But here we don't leverage the ball. We let the ball outside the defense here. Got a young kid, Troy Woolfolk. You remember his dad?
I sure do.
And
he might be faster than his dad.
He can run. I know he could beat his dad today, but he made a great effort to save a touchdown and our defense holds, keeps them out of the end zone.
Makes it a 10-3 game at that point. But Eastern's got some confidence at that point. Then you come back, and on 3rd and 10, Chan makes a big play.
Well, this is a great, he threads the needle there, and Adrian made a great catch on a ball thrown behind him. He's made a lot of those catches throughout the year.
Looks like another touchdown drive, and then this happens.
Well, just as he threw the ball, Chad got hit there. And again, we had some protection problems in that first half. So instead of maybe getting some points on the board, we give Eastern the ball.
Then the defense comes out. Big sack by Tim Jamison.
Well, I think, we're getting better. Our front four the last 4 games, Jim, they've really come to play, and they did a great job in this game.
And here comes Mike Hart again.
Well, running off tackle here behind Ortman and
and that's the new side of the line.
Well, Ortman and Schilling, yeah, and so we had 4 guys out today on our offensive line. Hopefully somebody will get back. And here a young freshman, Junior Hemingway, makes a big play for us.
Then you do a great job here against the blitz. Mike reads it well and gets down inside the red zone.
Well, we ran right into the zone blitz there, and Mike hit a crease. It was a well-executed play.
And talk about Mike's vision. This play is about as good as it gets.
Well, right there, the whole inside is plugged up. They're coming down, and he just has the vision and the ability to jump around it and get outside and get into the end zone.
And then another problem happens. You're ready to kick the extra point, and they get a guy through to block it, and they return it for 2 points.
Well, that's the kicking. 2 plays in the kicking game in that first half gave them 5 points. So other than that, our defense played well, but we did have a problem there with good. Their guy made a great play there.
16-5. Then of course they get the ball, and they put a drive together right before the half.
Well, they get a screen there, and we miss a tackle. He bled us a little bit. We did react pretty well to that play, though. Here, Morgan Trent makes a great play diagnosing the bubble screen what we refer to it as. And then they kick a field goal here to go into the half 16-8. And offensively, we missed a couple opportunities. But the biggest disappointment in that half, Jim, was in the kicking game.
Yeah. When you go off at half 16-8, everybody's expecting it to be much bigger. And you've moved the ball pretty well. You've got some decent yardage. Where do you talk to the kids when you get in there at half?
Well, we just talked about shoring up our kickoff team. You can't give them that kind of field position. And doing a better job in protection. We were running the football very effectively, and our defense was playing well.
All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at that second half from the Big House. But first, we hear from Obi Eze, who says the defense must get working earlier.
It's just a process with us. We're trying to come out and get off to a fast start, but I mean, we're gonna work on it in practice. But we haven't been able to do what we want to do in the first half, and we seem to have to come back in and tell people to step things up in the locker room. And I mean, we just need to get an attitude to go out and play 60 minutes of football.
And Alro Steel take you inside the locker room.
It's different, I had to adjust in practice this week, but there's a lot of similarities as far as the zone blocking from tackling the guard. It's a little different technique-wise as far as pass pro, but, Coach Miller was trying to teach me this week, and so, I think I was able to do it in practice and try to put it together in the game.
Halftime of the Eastern Michigan game on Saturday, Michigan had the 16-8 lead. Now, you open up the second half, you deferred to get the ball. Well, then Eastern pulls a fast one on you, but you loved the call, didn't you?
Well, I think Jeff Jenick, you're in the game, and he made a call that really gave his team a chance to be successful. They executed the onside kick, and now they put a drive together. Here, great defensive play. We get 2 guys with their hands on the ball, but some way they found a way to complete it for a first down.
Then here's what the problem was later. You let the quarterback get out of containment.
Well, we had a stunt on it where our outside guy's coming inside. We got an inside guy that's got to come out and contain. We were a little bit slow getting out, but kept the drive alive. And here they execute the quarterback keeper, and the quarterback Schmidt made a good play for the touchdown. And and we get a penalty here after the play, so now they got to kick off from the 45-yard line.
Well, you blocked their extra point, so it's a 16-14 game. And this drive, to me, I think typified what this offense can do and under pressure, because Chad opens up, hits Arrington here, then he completes another one to Arrington. This third down throw.
Well, these are two excellent throws. And Jim, there's no doubt at this stage, the game's 16-14. He goes to Arrington twice for big first downs.
And then Mike Hart. This is just Mike Hart, isn't it?
Well, you know, you talk about a back in today's football, he's got to be able to make a safety miss because the guys almost never block. And Mike made a great move there and cut back and got us a touchdown.
Here he is again. He's something.
Yes, he is.
This is 61 yards.
61 yards. We got a young freshman there out in front, Tony Clemens, who got some playing time today, and trying to make a block, but great field position here.
You don't get in, but Olopata hits a field goal, gives you a little bit more breathing room at 26-14. And then they make a big mistake on special teams.
Well, I think this probably is a bigger play as we had in the game because Brian doesn't hit it real good, and that ball bounces around, and sometimes you get the bounce of the ball. And this kid, Rogers, has really made a contribution for us on special teams.
First play after the fumble.
Well, the ball goes back behind the nose guard, and there he is making another safety miss. And we got a 33-14 lead at the end of the fourth quarter, and we got an opportunity in the fourth quarter to play a lot of young players, and we needed to do it because it was hot, and we needed to get some guys off the field, and it was good to get some younger guys some experience.
Yep, they make a late touchdown, make it 33-22. The one thing I wanted to tell you, go back to the highlights, never forget sitting around with you and Mo one night, and Mo was talking about, well, who blocks the safety? And Mo said, the running back.
Yep.
And that's what Mike Hart does. He's got to make the unblocked guy miss.
No doubt. And when they bring the eighth guy down, same thing, except he's much closer to the line of scrimmage. And if you look at Mike Hart down through his career, it's unbelievable what a lot of great runs he's had.
After the game, you know, again, we talked a little bit about this, and you addressed it in your post-game press conference. People think when they see the score, well, Michigan didn't do this, didn't do that. But you addressed it really well. You've got a lot of guys out. This was a very difficult game against a team that was fired up to play you, and you didn't have all your personnel.
Well, Jim, you know, and I tried to tell our team this week, you know, when you're going to hit some adversity during the season, and in this particular case, most of those were injuries where guys couldn't play, and the test of a team is how well you play when you're not at full strength. And certainly we were not at full strength. Eastern is a much improved football team. I think Jeff Jenick has done a wonderful job there. So we take a lot of positives out of this game. You can't get wrapped up in all the other things.
No matter how they slice it, that's a good win. When we come back, we'll meet Adam Krause up close and personal. But first, we hear from Mike Hart, Michigan's newest all-time leading rusher.
You never expect to get to this kind of level, to be the number one back in rushing. But it's something that you work hard for. That's when offseason comes in. I work hard for it, so I deserve it. Like I said, the last 4 lines that blocked for me have done a great job, and it's their record too.
Now, the Pontiac Performance Play of the Game.
First down at the 17. Mike Hart with a handoff. Big hole right side. 15 to the 10. Oh, what a shake and bake move. He leaves the safety. Ryan Downard on the ground at the 5 and goes in for a Michigan touchdown. Mike Hart's third score of the game. Just like that. 32-14 Michigan.
Michigan, but it didn't start out that way. You see, when Adam arrived in Ann Arbor, he was bound and determined to play tight end. But the idea of playing regularly and quickly was too much to resist, so he moved inside.
After my freshman year, after the bowl game, and coach called me up and he was like, what do you think about moving to offensive line? And I just said, he said, you'll be in the 2 deep your first year there. And, really I just wanted to play. I just wanted to get on the field. So they got me here saying I was going to play tight end, but, by the time I was here, it really didn't matter, and I just wanted to get on the field and help the team wherever I could. It couldn't have been a better decision that the coaches and I made. I think it worked out to the best, and you know, I've had a wonderful career, and I love everything about the move and playing O-line for Michigan, and I'm really proud.
During his years at Michigan, Adams experienced a lot. He's visited Israel, the land of his faith, on a student tour. He's had to stay in Ann Arbor and watch from afar as his home in New Orleans and his family were devastated by Hurricane Katrina. There was his position change, and now he's still working through his team's early season struggles. He's been through more than most his age, but don't think for a second that Adam Krause won't fight back.
We're going through some adversity right now, but you know, this next few weeks is going to show what this team's really made of. If we can bounce back and you know, do a good job. A lot of teams would just tank it, but you know, that's not how Michigan does it, and I'm gonna, you know, do my damnedest to make sure that we don't end up like that.
Hart running left, following the pile. Now bounces it outside. Nobody home. Touchdown, Michigan.
You know, I try not to let it get to me. I don't know if I'm hardened. I don't know about that, but you know, I'm getting better on what do I have to do.
He's a great kid. I just love listening to a guy like that. He says, "I want to get better each day."
I will,
you got to love him.
I want to, yeah, but I want to respond.
Okay, you respond.
Yeah, his dad,
you have now. This is
know,
your.
Well, during the recruiting process, a lot of people were recruiting Adam as an offensive lineman, and we promised him an opportunity to play tight end. But his dad, I think, knew, and he kept talking to me about, well, do you see him moving in there? And the biggest thing was opportunity to play, because he's a good athlete. But when I think about him, he and Jake Long, two kids, they're going to be friends for their best
yes,
friends.
They will.
They end up playing side by side, left guard and left tackle, and it's a wonderful friendship and a wonderful story.
Well, he's a great kid. When we come back, we'll look ahead to Purdue, but first we hear from Junior Hemingway, a freshman who knows what lies ahead.
We coming to work now. I mean, the team, we gonna focus next week, and we can come in hard because we know it's the chase for the ring now. So we got to come in playing for 60 minutes, our whole game. So we got to come in playing, and the team we focused enough to know, and we gonna come out here and do it.
The locker room.
That's a great offense. We know it's going to be a great offense. They're going to be excited to come in here. We haven't played them in a while, so they haven't been here in a while. So it's going to be exciting. We got to have a great week of practice.
Well, what starts up next week is the tough part of Michigan's schedule, and you open. You get Purdue. You're back into the Big Ten schedule, and Purdue is one of those teams that is a potent offensive football team.
Well, they've been that way for many years, and of course Joe Tiller really brought a version of the spread offense. Joe's done a great job at Purdue. He's a great coach. And he's got a great quarterback.
Well, that's what I mean. What is it about Purdue? They get great quarterbacks all over the place.
They've had a ton of them down through the years, Jim. And
Curtis Painter.
Well, he's 6'4". 223-pound senior. This is a senior-dominated team. Corey Sheets, yeah.
Great running back.
I like him a lot. I think he's one of the better backs in the Big Ten, and a guy that is tough, and they get him the ball a lot of different ways.
And Dorian Bryant, another veteran receiver.
Well, he's an outstanding receiver. Many people think he'll be a first-team All-American by the end of the season.
Defensively, they're led by Cliff Averill, defensive end. Outside linebacker Stanford Kegler is one of their best tacklers. And then Terrell Vinson, cornerback, again, veteran senior corner. So this is a team that's got experience.
Well, there's no question. And they're a team that has an ability to possess the football because of the kind of running attack they have. And, of course, with Painter, big play potential because Bryant is a great receiver.
Now, the thing about this game, too, is it's almost one of those deals where you don't know until Monday or Tuesday of this week who you're going to get back to play them.
Yeah, and the good news is, Jim, you know, Obi Aze, you know, talked earlier, has stepped in and started at middle linebacker the last 2 weeks and done it. This guy is going to be really an outstanding player. And we've got a number of other guys that have gained some experience, gained some confidence. And now really what we hope to do is put this thing together and become the kind of team we're capable of being.
In a game like this, is the key pressure on Painter? It's tough because they make so many quick throws.
Well, I think you have to. We're going to have to score some points. I mean, I think you start with that, but certainly we've got to put pressure on them because if you don't, you're already spread out. And when you spread out and you don't put pressure on the quarterback, it's easy. But they make it more difficult because they do have an outstanding back.
And they also have a more conventional run game, too. They aren't just the spread all the time.
No, I wouldn't really call them a spread as much as maybe as they've been some in the past. But they are an explosive offensive football team.
It's going to be a beauty, and make sure you join us. We will look at all of it next week, right here, same time, same place, on Michigan Replay.
Michigan.